Hey everyone. Hi y'all. It is Kate Johnson and I'm here. I'm excited to be here with Bill von Fumetti to talk about Google and Facebook ads. Thanks for being here at the Bookkeeping Side Hustle group. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up or a, all right, Shirley, thanks so much. So it looks like we're going. Bill, glad to have you with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excited to talk about this topic. I love this topic. I'm very passionate about it. So,
for those of you who don't know, we interviewed Bill in the recent past, like a month or so ago, maybe, about his course, Booming Bookkeeping Business. That's not what this conversation is going to be about, but I do want to make sure y'all know that that's available. He has a fantastic program helping people like us get started building the career they love by building a bookkeeping business. So don't forget about that. Remember that sort of at the end. I do have an affiliate link for his course. If y'all are interested in purchasing it, you're going to get a good sense of him and his teaching style and his expertise. But I am, selfishly interested in learning about potentially running ads in my own business, and he promotes that as one of his, you have 7 steps to getting clients or 7 major ways, right? Is that right?
I've got 7 of the most effective. I mean, we talk about lots of things, and this is one of the, well, these are 2, Facebook and Google ads.
So I knew he'd be a good guy to teach me, and I told him in this conversation, possibly by the end of it, we're going to see if I'm convinced that I should be doing this in my business, and if so, if I should DIY it. I did also tell him that one of the things that I want to make sure doesn't happen is that we just sort of generally talk about Google and Facebook ads, and then a whole bunch of y'all just kind of run and throw a few $100 down some ads and get nothing out of it. So I want us to be technical enough for us to scare off some folks if they're not willing to put in the hard work. I know this is not going to be a piece of cake. So that's kind of just a disclaimer. I don't want to pretend like this is something that anyone can do or everyone even should do, but we're going to get to the bottom of maybe who's ready, what needs to be in place before we get started, that sort of thing. So yeah, I think we're ready. And Leslie's asking if there will be a replay. Yes, Leslie, there will be a replay. It's going to live here in the Facebook group. So you can always go on the left side of your screen to the videos section, but then I'm going to upload it to the YouTube channel as well. All right. Well, okay, Bill. Tell us why you love teaching your students about Google and Facebook ads and using them. Kind of what's your philosophy? Not every business does it, so why do you think it's great?
Yeah, well, I mean, I always say that if I had to start all over again, start my business all over again, I would skip straight to just running ads. If I had to start out with no clients. And the reason is, well, I got involved in bookkeeping, as you know, a little late in the game. I took Accounting 1 at Santa Monica College when I was 38 years old with, which might not sound very old to some people, but, I mean, I had a woman I wanted to marry. I wanted to start a family. And so I was in an Accounting 1 class with a bunch of 18-year-olds. And so I got started a little late in the game. And, when it comes to getting bookkeeping clients, which I'm really passionate about, no matter what you do, you're going to spend something. You can do things like, your Pro Advisor, optimizing that, and Google My Business, and LinkedIn, and posting on Facebook, and you can do all those types of things that are free, absolutely free. But you're spending your time on those things. When it comes to Facebook, Google ads, and there's other platforms that you can advertise on, you're obviously spending your money. But one of the benefits of the big benefit is that you can get in front of your target market today. So you can be right in front of those people. And we're talking thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people today. So it's I call it the fast forward button. So ads can kind of be the fast forward button. So again, if I had to do it all over again, and since I got started late in the game, I'm like, hey, I don't have time to waste, posting everywhere and getting a ton of reviews. I'd hop straight to advertising, because if you do it right, and Kate, it was really good that you kind of mentioned that up front, is that you want to do this right. I have so many people that say ads don't work. Ads don't work. And I mean, just to put it simply, it's because it wasn't implemented properly. There are a lot of steps in the process. This is not brain surgery, but there are a lot of steps in the process. And if any one of those, isn't, where it needs to be, they won't work. And then you'll say, oh, it doesn't work. But the positive thing is that you can test each step.
Okay.
Until it works. And so then once you get it set up, it's kind of automated and it's running and it's really super low maintenance. I mean, you got to do no work to keep these things going.
I was thinking about that, about how like, for someone like me who is not trying to be a huge practice, that, if I ran an ad and I got like 10 people calling me, that would not be okay. That's not how my life or my business could work. But then I guess I could just turn the ad off and then 2 months later, turn it back on and get
exactly
3 phone calls instead of, a bunch.
Yeah.
So that is kind of interesting that once you put the effort in, you can just turn it off and turn it back on. Do you think now would be like, Bill and I, we didn't like script this or anything. I did send them some questions. Oh, that reminds me. If you have questions, please jump in and ask on the comments. I got my other screen up here to read the comments. Do you think now would be a good time, Bill, to just kind of go through what you say those steps are, or should I ask you some more kind of high level stuff, or what?
Yeah. Just from I just wanted to kind of talk in a high level first, and then I'll go ahead and we'll share my screen. I'll kind of walk through the flow and those steps where things can go wrong and kind of how to fix them. But to your point about getting too many clients, yeah, that can happen, which is kind of an embarrassment of riches. That's a good thing.
Okay.
But what it allows you to do is it allows you to work with the people you want to work with.
Yeah.
Because you should not be working with everybody that calls you or emails you.
Right.
And so it will let you work with the clients you want to work with. That's very important.
So what, just when people take your course, for instance, maybe just kind of start there. Like if I were a student, how are you going to like walk me through the process of like getting ready to even like consider doing this?
That's a really great question, because the first thing I always recommend is there's a couple of organic things that you want to be doing right first.
Okay.
Right. You want to be found on Google. Like when somebody types in Bookkeeper Redondo Beach, I better show up in what's called the Google 3-pack. It's that map with the 3 results under it. So this is not about your website. This is about having a Google My Business account.
Okay.
Those results, you like if you ever go to type in plumber,
I just did the Google My Business thing, but I don't know. I was kind of like, I don't know what this really is. I signed it up.
Yeah. It's the when you type in like plumber and then your city name or plumber near me, there's a map that comes up and then there's 3 results under that.
Okay.
And you can very easily get into one of those top results. That way you don't have to worry about all this like search engine optimization for your website, because those can be challenging to get that to rank to the top.
Right.
But something like that is organic. And so many people go to Google and type in bookkeeper near me or bookkeeping service near me that you want to just be there. And it's so easy to set up. Like that's free. Like get that done. The Pro Advisor profile, if you do that properly and get a lot of reviews, you can get a lot of calls from there. So there's a couple things I like you to do first. But again, if it were me, I would just jump straight to ads. But it's nice to have that foundation. And then when it comes to ads, that's where we start talking about developing a niche and then creating funnels, okay? Because ads are not complete without funnels. And that's something that, we'll get into in a little bit here.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I think we should just kind of go.
Let's do it.
Keep going.
Okay. So
I don't even know. So how about this? What is a funnel?
Okay. Well, let me real quick cover one more topic.
Sure. Go ahead.
To cover is that when I talk to people who have an aversion to ads, I think bookkeepers, some of them recoil when I talk about advertising, and for some reason, bookkeepers have it in their heads that like we're the only business on the planet that doesn't need to advertise. Restaurants have to advertise. Lots of companies need to advertise, but I think there are just so many free things out there that we don't necessarily need to. On top of the fact that they think advertising is expensive, and it doesn't have to be. We're going to talk about budgets and how you can get started for like $5-10 a day. I mean, you can put a limit on everything. That's the limit. You won't spend more than that. And then the other thing is that the goal here is for this to be an investment. And if you do it properly, it will be. This will be profitable 100% of the time if you do it properly. It might take you a while to troubleshoot along the way, but it will be most of the time $1 in, $10 out. Okay. You might spend $300 or $500 to get a client, which you might be saying, well, geez, I go network and that's free. Well, if that client's paying you $500 a month, I mean, it's a good return. And if we can't convince ourselves that that's a good investment, then we're going to have a hard time convincing clients that it's a good investment to work with us. We do the same thing. We tell clients the same thing. I mean, it's an investment working with us as bookkeepers is what we've got to express to clients. And if we're not able to understand that in our own businesses, it's hard to convince others. So let's dive in and talk about ads and funnels and all that fun stuff. So
let's do it.
A funnel really is a journey that we take someone on to turn them from a stranger into a paying customer.
Okay.
And it's real. I mean, it's just kind of easiest to think about it as like a series of web pages. And then maybe some follow-up emails, okay? So it's just taking a stranger, they've never heard of us, maybe they see an ad, and that's what drops them into this funnel. So ads are not complete without funnels. It's not like we just put up an ad and then the phone starts ringing.
Okay.
This person doesn't know us. We've got to take them on a journey. They've got to get to go from knowing us, from not knowing us to knowing us and liking us and then trusting us. And then they're going to become a client. Okay. So that's the important thing to remember is that we don't just put up an ad. Now, there is a difference between Google and Facebook ads and how we want to run those. Those are two separate customer journeys. And so I'll share my screen and then I can just kind of map it out a little bit.
Go for it.
I think that would help. So this is my little whiteboard app here. So forgive my handwriting. It's awful, but I'm going to try to.
It can't be worse than mine.
I'm an accountant, right? We're all accountants, so maybe we can all read this. So let's just talk about Google first. Let me make sure I got this on. Okay, so now on Google, the really cool thing about Google is that you can place an ad when someone searches for a term. So if somebody searches for bookkeeper in a geographical area, for example, you can say, hey, show my ad when they search for this term. Okay. And so when somebody's doing that, they are a really hot prospect. So this is somebody that's really looking for a client. Okay. They're actively looking. They're not looking for a free download or anything like that. They want to talk to somebody right now. So this funnel is a lot shorter. Okay. This is going to be really, really simple. So what happens is on Google, you have, and this will be the same with both of them, but you're going to start with your ad. Okay. So you go into Google, you create an ad. And it's a little easier to set up because it's just text, but there's obviously an art to creating good ads. But you create an ad, and then what you do from there is you take them. Once they click on that ad, they go to what's called a landing page. Okay. So now a landing page, very simply, is a website. Okay, it's a website. It's a web page, but it's a special type of a web page, which gives the user two options. Most web pages, they have all these different options. They've got menus at the top and they've got, different places you can click. This landing page serves one purpose and they have two options on it. They hit this page and they either book a phone call with us or they leave. Those are the only two options. They don't get to go to different pages. And if you don't mind, I can pull over an example of a landing page.
Please do.
Okay. And I'll show you two different examples, but just to give you an idea what this landing page step looks like, this is a landing page that I've used that has worked really well for me.
That's handsome. That's good. Looks good.
It's the colors are good. I mean, I'll show you an ugly version as well, and there's a reason I'll show it to you. But they have no options on this page other than calling me. And this call button can change based on whether or not it's during business hours. Okay, so if it's during business hours, they can call me because, again, Google is very warm traffic. These are people that are looking. If you went to Google and typed in bookkeeper, you're probably looking for a bookkeeper. Okay.
Can they hit call now? Are they is that just going to give them your phone number, or are they going to call you through their computer, or what?
That will dial the phone number. If you're on a mobile device, this will actually, you'll call it. Like if I had Zoom set up or Skype or whatever, it would actually call.
Is that built in WordPress?
This one is built in a lead pages type.
Okay,
tool.
You're right.
But you can do the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just a piece of code. You can do that in WordPress.
So, but is that critical? You want to have a call me now, not an email me now.
You want two buttons. You want two buttons because you're going to have two versions. You're going to have one version that runs during business hours. Because during business hours, if this person's looking for a bookkeeper, hey, call me now. Call me. I want new clients, so call me. But if it's after hours, I don't want people calling me. Although I take calls late, but I don't want people calling me. So now then this button connects to a tool called Calendly. Have you heard of Calendly?
Yes. Well, so
Okay.
that's kind of what I was imagining, because I don't have a lot of business hours. I mean, I guess I kind of do. They're sort of all over the place. I just don't sort of sell my business that way. So for
That's a
me,
good point.
I would be interested in them like booking a time with me, but maybe that's bad sales. I don't know.
No, well, I mean, if they want to call you, you want to give them that opportunity. But what you can do, and typically what we do is we have this version running during business hours, and then we have the Calendly version running 24 hours.
And
So
you're setting this up like you teach your. I'm going to push you here. You teach your students how to do that. That sounds very complicated. Having
it's really not.
So you're
really
telling
not.
Google this. You build your ad. You give them the link. And you're able to just, I mean, it's pretty easy to say, this is, I want it run during these hours, and then this one run during.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean.
Now, I'm telling you, if you've ever logged into the Google Ads dashboard, or, I mean, if anybody has who's listening, yeah, you look at it and it looks like your husband's a pilot, right?
Yeah. He's complicated stuff. Yes.
It looks like you walked into the cockpit of something. You're like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's just that way because it's so sophisticated. But it's kind of like Photoshop. If you ever use Photoshop, you buy Photoshop, you spend hundreds of dollars for it, and you use like 2% of it, but that's all you need it for. But
that's all you need it for. Okay.
More.
Okay.
Yeah. So the important thing about this page is, well, there's a couple things. I'll just kind of point out what a good landing page should be. Is, again, some sort of a value proposition at the top. So I always have to tell people, like, hey, having a CPA do your bookkeeping is not expensive, because people think it is. So I have this little tagline, like,
I like it.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some value proposition here, what's in it for the client, more profit, lower taxes, a little bit about me, some services. Testimonials are huge. If you've got reviews, you just ask your clients, you say, hey, can I just use this little quote from my website? And they'll be cool with it. So these are client reviews. I've got like my little badges up here, and then they can call me. As you notice, there's nowhere else they can click on here. They have no other options. They either book a call or they
leave.
Go away. Yeah. And a lot of them will leave. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, those are the numbers, but for the most part, if you've got your ad written properly, so ad creation is number one. Number two, it's got to be shown to the right people. If you got those two things done, then a high percentage of people who hit this website should convert.
Let me ask a question. When you say Google Ads, so if I go to a Google search engine and I type in anything, usually like the first 2 or 3 spots, it says the word ad in front of it, and it has a link. Is that what this is? Or is this like a picture? Like when I guess when I was thinking of ads, I was thinking of like floating things on the side, in a web page.
Yeah, they can be. There's different types of ads. If you go to look at, like CNN or ESPN, sometimes they have those little square ads somewhere, and
well, here's something that was making me jump out is this nice lead page that you created seems fairly heroic to me. Like that's like, whoa, that's going to be a lot of work to just create that. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I got to create a lead page, but then I also got to create the ad. But with a Google ad, those first 3 things, those aren't, there's no images there. Those are just words,
no images,
right? It just says like Bill Von Fumetti CPA, bookkeeper,
that's it.
Local bookkeeper or something. Yeah. So that would be for me in terms of like struggling with design stuff. If I didn't have to also design a pretty ad, then that's only one thing. I don't know. I'm just pointing that out. So Facebook ads, you're going to have to make something that looks nice. Yeah, for your ad.
I'm going to show you some examples. I mean, you've got pictures on your phone right now you can make an ad out of.
Okay.
Design is not an issue here. This was designed in like a landing page software. This one's called Unbounce, but there's lead pages. I like lead pages. There's ClickFunnels. There's lots of different things. And the one of the benefits there is that they've got, like, for example, not this template, but they have a lot of templates that look exactly the way you want them to look. You drop in your picture here, you change this text, and you're done. You have this thing done in like 15 minutes, half hour, you're done. So design-wise, it's a piece of cake. But yeah, I mean, this I didn't do that. I didn't create this because I thought, hey, I did one on my own, and I'm going to show it to you.
Okay.
It's not pretty. And so then I said, well, I need to up my game a little bit. So I need to have somebody do it. So they did this. But here's the first one I used, and I'll let you guess which one you think did better. This is the one I used. I made this myself. Hey, I made this myself. I mean, this is a little video I shot here at my desk, talking about how great, working with me would be. And again, they can, and then they can schedule a call with me. So if they click here, that's what takes them to Calendly, and they can book a call.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's that piece of it. And I think you had a question. You said you liked people to answer some questions before they get on a call with you, and you can build that into Calendly here, which is really cool. So they book a time.
Well, I can tell I get really anxious if I talk to like a complete stranger. Like I'm like, am I talking with someone who makes $10 million? Am I talking to someone who makes $10,000 who like clearly can't afford me? And so should I just kind of be nice and give them a little bit of advice? And I don't know. I feel like my sales is better whenever I know a little bit about the business.
It is. You're absolutely right. And I only ask a couple of questions. I ask what industry they're in and annual revenue. And those are the ones that are important to me, and that's enough for me. But you can add whatever questions there. But
you're not asking them for their business name even.
No, I don't care.
Okay, because I would Google stalk them if I got their business. That's what I'm like trying to find out what their business is.
The email address usually helps me do that, and I do stalk them. Yeah, I stalk them, and sometimes I throw in their phone number and all that fun stuff. So, again, so this page just in a nutshell, they could click to call if they wanted, but they can schedule a call. Some benefits, why it's so great having me do your books. Here's those, my three musketeers here. A little bit about me, and then scheduling a call. So it's the same setup. I consider this one to be ugly, but I just did it and got it out there. You can obviously see where I'm going with this by asking the question, which one do you think did better?
Yeah. So is it the ugly one?
It's the ugly one. The ugly one did better. It's just, it's cleaner. It's simpler. You know what? Our clients are not looking for design wizards, So
I keep thinking that.
They're not. They want to know if you can solve their problems. And if you can solve their problems, they'll work with you. I've seen ads that have videos of just like selfie videos on a cell phone that do really, really well. If you're engaging, if you're solving problems, you'll do fine. So this design, and you don't have to do videos. This one's just a picture of me. This is something that anybody can do. It's, again, the templates are drag and drop.
All right. So I got my little sheet here. I want to nail down a couple of things. One of my questions was, what are the must-haves in terms of your landing page? So let's list that. We can do it verbally right now. So photo, it looks like your photo was on both.
You got to have a photo of yourself. You can't use stock photos. Got to have a photo of yourself. This is a relationship we're building with someone.
And we also said they can't leave the page, y'all. So I was fiddling around with this last night, and because I think I'm going to try to add it to my website course, but I was nervous about how do I, if I don't want to pay for like a lead pages, like an extra thing, and I want to just build it on my website. But I was able to easily, there was just two buttons that said remove header, remove footer in WordPress. And so then I created a page that was locked like this, where you can't go anywhere. So reviews, it looks so what's your advice for your students who don't have reviews? What do you tell them to do on their page?
I always, I tell people because reviews are huge. Reviews are huge. And like when it comes to QuickBooks, the ProAdvisor site, or Google My Business, sit down and train somebody on QuickBooks. Sit down and train somebody for an hour on QuickBooks. If you know QuickBooks, if you know it, if you've taken the certifications, if you're, been using it, but you don't have a lot of reviews, grab a business owner or somebody who wants to start a business or has thought about starting a business, which probably includes everybody on the planet.
Your brother-in-law.
Yeah. Sit them down, show them what QuickBooks can do. Hey, here's how you connect your bank accounts. Here's how you run a P&L. That's a training. That's a 1 hour free training session. That's technically a client. Okay. You want to do the work.
So you got to have reviews. So you tell your people, go get a review.
Get reviews. You got to get reviews. Okay. Reviews, that kind of social proof is just so huge.
I'm
you
glad
don't have
you're
to
saying
have
that.
one.
I'm glad you're saying that. I don't know that I have, I have a handful of clients. I haven't been good about this. So this would be I mean, this is a big step. So like I was saying, like, guys, this is not like something we can do next week, right? Like there's going to be a lot of groundwork that goes into this. So, and so then I had asked in the dummy page that I built, I didn't know if I should have a form embedded on the site but you have them have a button to click that then takes them to a form. Is that better? Why not just have the form in there?
They're not. I mean, again, the more difficult it is, just moving their hand from the mouse to the keyboard lowers the conversion rate. You know, you want them you want to make it as easy as possible. Okay. And if they send you a form, not only is it a little bit more difficult, but then it's like, I'm available Tuesday at 3. Well, Tuesday at 3, I'm taking my kid to the doctor or something. So so there's this back and forth. I can get a call booked in the middle of the night in my sleep, which happens.
Okay, got it. Happens, yeah. So we have to have a clickable link to get the contact. Your contact form, when they did click the link, had very minimal info. It was like name, email, phone number, and their industry. Industry
and revenue.
Yeah. Okay. Am I missing anything? Those are the key elements, it looks like. Your badges.
Get your badges up there. Again, get your badges up there. The button at the top and the bottom is important. And then the other thing I would point out, if we scroll all the way back up, is, you always want to be leading with value, because somebody's going to hit this page and they're going to be like, what's in it for me? Now, a landing page for Facebook is going to be a little bit different, but we'll talk about Facebook here in a second.
Okay.
But those are the kind of landing page fundamentals.
So let's go back to the funnel thing, because I'm guessing that when they fill out that landing page, there's got to be some other sort of like correspondence after that, right? Because otherwise, or is it just a one-step funnel?
No, it's the call. It's the call. They're gonna book a call, and that's the and then there's this step. There's that step. Okay, so then you're gonna close the call. You're gonna close the deal.
Okay.
They're going to book a call. So this one's really simple. And again, it's because people on Google, they're looking for a bookkeeper. I don't need to warm them up. They're hot. They've got a problem. Their books are a mess, and it's July 8th, and it's, they've got to have their taxes done by the 15th.
So when I think of funnel, I mean, I know I asked what's a funnel. I kind of know what a funnel is, but I know not everybody does. You now have their contact information. Let's say it doesn't work out for whatever reason. I don't know. Are they still in your ecosystem? Like, are you trying to convert that client 6 months later?
Most of the time not, because number one, these calls convert very, very highly. If somebody takes the step of booking a call with you, it's a very high conversion rate. And then number two, if we decide not to work together, there was a pretty good reason why not. Okay. Either they thought it was going to cost them $50 a month to do their bookkeeping, or, it's just like you talk to the person on the phone and they just seem like they're completely insane. Like, there's a reason. But
there's weirdos.
They're so weird. Gosh. But what you can do here is Calendly will integrate with a lot of mailing, email automation software. And so you can go ahead and you can connect that integration, and you can at least add them to a mailing list. This is an optional step. That's an optional step, because like I said, of course, it could be possible that they're too small now and maybe in the future. But trust me, if you're doing this and you're doing it right, you're not waiting around for 6 months for somebody to grow.
So I'm going to give my thoughts on this whole process. So you said 5 minutes ago, you're going to build a funnel. That might sound scary. This is a lot simpler than I was expecting you to say. I thought there would be about 3 more boxes, maybe like an initial email that we have to like connect our MailChimp to or something like that. And
that's Facebook.
Okay. So we'll get more complicated, but I'm going to state now that just as someone who's, I'm kind of in the trenches, I'm building my business. This is a little bit less heroic than I was thinking. There was no ad creation no graphical ad creation for Google Ads, which takes half of the graphics work away. And there wasn't a lot of like automation and content that you're having to write. It's here I am, call and get on the phone. So this might be nice for some people who are not ready to design design an ad and a landing page or whatever. So that's my kind of
Yes.
synopsis of the Google Ads situation. It's easier than I was expecting. Less complicated.
Oh yeah, and it is, and that's why it's doable for people. But people do it, and it doesn't work. And the reason is not because it's complicated, but because there's many steps of the process that could go wrong. For example, let's say let's say your ad isn't getting clicked. Well, you have a terrible ad, and you can see all this in the in the ads dashboard.
Hold on. But the ad itself is just an ugly black and white text on on a strip at the top of a Google search engine. So how can that be bad?
It's boring. It doesn't provide any benefits or offer any value. Like if I were to say, you have the
same wording that you had in that graphic at the top is like,
very similar.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can see that somebody looking at that, they're like, whoa, I can have a CPA do my books and it won't cost me an arm and a leg. Like that's a big deal. But so many people who try this, they're like, hey, we do bookkeeping and we'll also do your payroll. Well, what are you going to click on?
Okay.
So your ad isn't great. So that's like, if people aren't clicking on your ad, that indicates that your ad isn't great, or you're showing it to the wrong group of people. But you can get that data from the dashboard, and then guess what? You can go in and make improvements on your ad, which is cool. So then let's say a bunch of people are clicking on your ad, but nobody's booking a call. Well, that means your landing page needs work. So at every step of the process, you can evaluate what's working and what's not. And then you can do what's called split testing. For example, you can have the same ad go to, 2 landing pages.
Your ugly page and your pretty page.
And you can see which one works better. And then, and I'm telling you, if you haven't done advertising before, and I do a heck of a lot of advertising, between the 2 businesses, I spend about $20,000 a month advertising, which is, I don't even want to get into that, but I'm out there all the time on Google and Facebook. And you think, well, one landing, but what, just pick a landing page and go with it. And honestly, one landing page compared to the same landing page, just with 2 different headlines, can be completely different animals in terms of how they convert. And you want to know that.
But then you'd quickly get rid of the bad one, right? You don't
trash the bad one.
Okay.
And then guess what you do? And then if you really want to get crazy, guess what you do? You come up with a third one. Yeah, and you start comparing. But that's more work than what we need to have happen. When I teach people in my course how to do this, we already know generally what works, so you get it up there. And if you ever have to do any split testing, you can do that. But we know what works. We know what kind of things people want to hear. Clients are looking for, things like that. So, but what I wanted to point out was that at every step of the process, when people say it doesn't work, well, somewhere along the line, there was a kind of a broken link in the chain, and we just have to go in and fix it. The data makes it very easy for us to know what's not working. Yeah.
Well, and I guess if we move to that third step, if people are clicking the ad and they're booking the call and then it's not working, then the problem is you. So
the problem is you, or one of the things you can do is ask more questions. Maybe you're getting people that are not very qualified.
Okay.
If you, like, maybe they don't show up to like you call them and like they don't pick up, then maybe we need to ask more questions, because you'll get fewer calls booked, but the people that are willing to fill out more questions, more personal questions, they're going to be more excited. So that's Google. You want to talk about Facebook?
I do. Let's do it.
Because traditionally, I will say this: we talked about Google first, but Facebook is the one where people kind of start, and it can be it can be slightly higher return on investment. Facebook is really exciting because, and the big reason is because you can really target the types of people looking at your ads, not just search terms.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and trash this.
Clear that. Yeah. I'm looking over to the side, y'all.
Any questions so far?
Any questions?
There's got to be some
we
questions.
We have one about I'm concerned that maybe, well, here's a question. What's the most common mistake when you see people posting an ad? So maybe you can work that into some of your,
I'm going to show you a Facebook ad that needs some work.
Needs some work. Okay. And then one other person asked about, are the calls you get to verify your Google listing a scam? You know what that is?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't really have anything to do with this, but yeah, it's just somebody who wants to sell you on their services to get you ranked higher in Google or listed in Google My Business. And you don't need that. Okay,
so let's do Facebook ads.
So Facebook ads, the difference between Facebook and Google is that Facebook is this is not hot traffic. This is somebody scrolling through looking at cat pictures and pictures of food and Donald Trump or whatever the heck people want to be talking about nowadays. So we've got to
Kanye,
yeah,
talking about Kanye.
Exactly. So we've got to come out of nowhere on these people. So it's different. It's different. This is not hot traffic. So this is, this is cold traffic. This is cold. So, but it's going to start the same way. We're going to make a Facebook ad. Okay. And now this ad is different in the sense that there is a picture. Visual. And there is but we'll talk about that. Let me map out the funnel, but we'll talk about kind of how to best to create some of these things. Now this is different. And I should say with Facebook ads, you really want to pick a niche. You really want to pick a niche. And the reason is because you're able to show your ad to a specific audience of people. If I do construction bookkeeping and I want to work with construction companies, I can tell Facebook to only show my ad to those business owners. But I want to show them something that shows that I have an authority or some special knowledge, unique knowledge in that area.
Okay.
The ads that don't work. So for anybody out there who might have tried this, and I tried it when I first started, I put up an ad and I said, "Hey, I'm Bill and I'm a great bookkeeper and you should just work with me." And that doesn't speak to anybody. I'm showing it to everybody, all kinds of different business owners, and I'm not really differentiating myself at all. But if I were to show it to restaurant owners and say, "Hey, I'm the expert when it comes to restaurant bookkeeping," that's going to get a lot of engagement. That one's going to get a lot of engagement. So it's important when you do Facebook ads, you really want to pick a niche. That's not to say that you can only work with those types of companies. You can work with everybody, but on Facebook, let's go after a certain type of person.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I don't have a niche, but if I'm interested, or if someone goes to my website, my full blown website, they're not going to see that I have a niche, but that doesn't mean I can't create an ad for people that I'm like trying to get. So
Bingo.
That's perfect. Okay.
Bingo. And that's important because when we do things like the QuickBooks Pro Advisor program or your website or Google My Business, people are going to find us. All kinds of business owners are going to find us. We don't want to restrict, we don't want a restaurant owner to click on Google My Business and say, he only works with construction companies. Bye. I'll work with anybody. But when on Facebook, we do want to have a niche. So here, not only do we want to have a niche, but we also want to, create something of value. Okay. So we've got to make them want to click. So here, they're not going to book a call. In Google, it was to book a call. This is going to be, we show them an ad that says, "Hey, I've created a free PDF download for you." Or I've created a video for you that walks you through the top 5. Well, you're not going to get anybody to click otherwise. You just won't. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't take you forever to create this. Why did you go, I don't know, lots of work. It's not that I, creating like a handsome PDF that's like hosted on a web. I mean, it's a step, that I think I could do it. I know how to run my website. I know how to have something that's downloadable now, but when I think about the audience of this group, I don't know. Don't underestimate these fine folks out there.
I'm not underestimating. Okay, y'all all go make your PDFs and look awesome and put them on your website.
Let me tell you what, all you have to do is write these things out. You write out for example, like the top 5 mistakes that restaurant owners are making that are costing them thousands, financial bookkeeping mistakes, whatever, that are costing them thousands. If you're a restaurant owner and that speaks, if you're a restaurant owner, that's really going to speak to you. And this is 5 things. We could talk about not connecting your point of sale system, integrating that with QuickBooks. We can talk about, payroll and tipped employees. We can talk about inventory. Cash flow applies to every type of business out there, how to manage your cash flow better. All of those different types, you write it, and then you know what you do? You write it in a Word document, and you go to Fiverr.com, where you can find people to do anything for any price. Yeah. And you pay somebody, trust me, $20, and I was
going to say less than, but yeah, $20, sure.
Yeah. They'll make like the cover. They'll make it look like a book. it'll be designed. It'll blow your mind. It'll look like it's an actual book that some professional publisher published. And that's all you need. And then that picture becomes part of your ad. You create this one time. And again, there is some setup work here, but this machine runs all the time. I mean, it's clients on demand. I know that sounds cheesy, but really that's how it works. So yeah, there should be a little bit of work. It's not going to be just like, hey, let's turn it on and we get calls. So, and
that's fair enough. I don't want to like, it's hard work. This is a real business. This is not like, pressure washing sidewalks. Like we have to have big brains to do this business. So we need to be able to write content that shows we're experts. So
sure. And honestly, if you're writing content for other, marketing channels, you're posting on Facebook, you can just gather your content and you can put it in one spot. But now somebody's going to see that, the top 5 things that restaurant owners should be doing, and they're going to be interested in that. And then they're going to click on my ad. They go to my landing page. And on this landing page, I'm not going to show you an example of it, but it's the same thing. But now it's just a picture of the book. And it's like, hey, here's this great book. Enter your name and email address to download it.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
It. That's it.
So what do you use? What do you use on the back end to fulfill that? Are you using your lead page manager, or do you have like a MailChimp, MailerLite type of a thing?
Yeah, it's a it's mailing list software. So what's going to happen here is they enter their email address and it goes, into your email software. So now there's a lot of tools you can use here, but what you need to be using is a tool because there's Constant Contact, there's MailChimp, there's MailerLite. A lot of different things. You want to use something that has what's called automation. Because what's going to happen is once somebody goes in here, gets their email address in here, they're going to get a series of email. Wait a day, send another email. Wait 2 days, send an email. If they sign to work with us, kick them out and don't send them any more emails. We want something that's smart. So we want something that's smart. So yeah, we're going to capture that email. And then there's like with Facebook, it's just so powerful. Once they do that, they enter their email. They get taken to a page, and they're going to get emailed the download. They'll get emailed the PDF. So that happens in the email software. But then they'll get taken to another page. And so this is a thank you page.
This is within Facebook, or is this part of the landing page setup? Yeah,
this is part of the landing page setup. So this is the funnel. So this is another page.
So once they put their email address in, it automatically, and hit submit, it takes them to a thank you page. Okay.
Right. It adds their email address to our software and it takes them to the next page in the funnel. So this is a thank you page. And then guess what? It says, thank you. Thank you for downloading my thing. You're going to make a ton of money from it. So, and guess what? If you're really interested,
book.
Maybe comes with my pen here. You want to book a call and talk? You might want to book a call. So we can offer them the opportunity to book a call now. Some of them will. Believe it or not, they'll download it. They'll say, hey, this Bill guy, he knows everything there is to know about restaurants. I'll just go ahead and book a call right now with him.
So I want to go back to the email funnel.
Sure.
So to be clear, so first box on this page, everybody, that is in Facebook. Everything else is outside of Facebook. The landing page, which can be done on a paid-for landing page platform, or if you were like me, cheapskate, I was trying to build my own landing page on my already purchased website, and I would be able to build those 2 pages, that landing page and then that thank you page. So that's outside of Facebook. But then the email funnel, what is happening? The first thing is the download, and then every 2 days they're getting what kind of stuff do you tell them?
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
I'll get back to you. Yeah, I want to finish out like the kind of the flow through the website funnel first. And then we'll go down through the email side of things.
All right.
And then we've got some other ads, some really cool ads that are called retargeting ads that we're going to plug into this whole thing. It's going to blow you away. So, well, maybe not you because you know about this already. But
no, I don't know retargeting ads. That's new. Keep going through So after the thank you page, what happens?
So they go to the thank you page, and this can be text. There could be a video that says, "Hey, thanks for downloading this thing. Here, let me give you some more information." You provide some more value to them. It could be a video. Whatever it is, and it just something to encourage them to book a call. Doesn't have to be a video, but something we give them the opportunity to book a call on our Calendly. And if they book a call, great, and they go to, well, guess where they go? They get another thank you page, with like some confirmation. Look at me, I can't even. This little pen thing is fun to work with.
All the technology's hard.
I know.
It always makes me want to scream.
Buttons to make life easier, but they just, they get in the way. So they get a thank you page. Hey, you're confirmed. Tomorrow at 12 p.m. we're gonna talk, and time, date, the whole thing. So that's a real like kind of end. That's the end of the web page funnel. Okay. And so reminding them to check their email, all that stuff. So then what happens here? That's basically the kind of the web page funnel side of things. But then what's going to happen is once they're in the email, they are going to get a series of emails. Okay. And this is why you want to use something that has a little bit of automation to it, because you don't want to go in there and send out emails because people are going to be going into the funnel at all kinds of different times, and it just doesn't work.
I can say, everybody, I've used MailerLite here in the Bookkeeping Side Hustle group to kind of create an email funnel for people who join my newsletter. Just basically introducing making people, it annoys me that people don't know that I have an actual website where all my content lives, so I don't have to keep answering the same question. So anyway, I did it. It was MailerLite. It's free. And this is all hard for me. So I'm telling you, I was able to do these 3 emails in a sequence. I was able to do that without a lot of screaming. So
great.
You can do it too.
MailerLite's a quality tool. I use something called ActiveCampaign. It's more expensive, but it's got more features. And of course, I have a need for some more features with my course and stuff like that. But whatever it is, as long as it integrates with the landing page software, because your landing page here, you're going to enter your email, and that needs to feed it then over into your MailerLite or ActiveCampaign or whatever you use. So as long as that's done, and then what you do is you go in and you build out an email sequence. You write some emails. And these emails can take on different forms, okay? And again, the reason for these emails is, let's go ahead and draw this out. This email is going to be about something. We'll talk about that. And then at the end, it's going to be like, hey, want to see how I can help you? Book a call. Hey, want to see how I can help you? Book a call. They're always going to be drawing people back to book a call. There's got to be a clear call to action in these emails. And then while I'm at it, let me talk about retargeting ads, and we'll come back to the emails. We got some ads over here. We're going to call these retargeting ads. These are Facebook ads. But you know how Facebook knows everything about everybody?
They do.
Yeah. So Facebook knows everything about everybody. Facebook, in this whole creation process, you'll install again, this is easy. This whole process is easy. Take my word for it. But you'll install a little piece of code that Facebook gives you, and it's called a pixel on this landing page software. So it's just a piece of code that you put there. Then when people go to that page, Facebook will keep track of that person. Okay, that person went to that page. So now what I can do is once I know that somebody has gone to this page, I can then, the next time they go on Facebook, I can retarget them with additional ads. And now these ads are different than the first ad, because the first ad is like, hey, I'm Bill. You've never heard of me, but I'm this really cool restaurant bookkeeping guy. These ads over here say, hey, thanks for downloading my free thing. I hope you got some value out of it. Maybe here's another little tip for your restaurant bookkeeping business. And by the way, want to talk about it? Let's book a call. Hey, here's another ad. Let's book a call. And those are all being shown to people who have already seen my stuff. So these are people that now know me, and now they're a little bit further down, and I can speak to them in a different way.
Yeah, my brain, so I've been sitting here, the last couple of days as I knew I was going to get to talk to you, what would an ad look like, And now you're telling me I have to make 4, and that's hard.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
that's just.
What do you think's involved in making an ad?
Creativity. That's what that's where my mind goes. It's like, how do I have 4 different photos of myself? Do I use icons? Do I use, which script do I use?
Well,
that's where my mind goes.
That is one of the benefits of working with someone who's done it before, because the truth is you can use a mix of those things. And there's some things that work better than others. But again, it's not really hard. We're talking about a picture. We're talking about a little bit of text. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. And then on Facebook, you can tell it to, okay, hey, show this only to people who like Construction World magazine and who happen to be small business owners. Guess what? That's going to be construction business owners. Yeah. And they're going to be really interested in my ad. So just from now that I've got it all drawn out from a high level perspective, what this does is, you've heard that whole saying that you need to have been exposed to a brand at least 7 times before you become a customer. And that's
I have to have a brand.
You are a brand. You are absolutely a brand. And
Heritage Business Services. That's me.
That's your brand. And so if nobody's ever heard of you, that's fine. Everybody's starting from ground zero. Okay. Nobody ever heard of TikTok when it got started. And guess what? Now it's going to be banned in the United States. So, but, and that's what this touches a person, over here. It's touching them here. These emails, after they sign up, we're touching them again with all kinds of value. And so these emails can be like, hey, here's an extra tip. One email could be like, hey, here's a story about how I helped one of my current restaurant bookkeeping clients. Inspiring things like that encourage people to make a call. They start to trust you, and they start to see like, okay, this isn't just some guy. This is a guy that really knows a lot about this stuff. Yeah. And then guess what? They get touched again over here, and they get touched in all these. I'm going to use a different word. We connect with them in all these different places, and and that's what it takes. That exposure is what it takes to turn somebody from a stranger. Stop laughing. From a stranger into a client.
So I like to opine. So this is an example of how I kind of emphasize that this bookkeeping. I call it a side hustle, and I think it can be done as a side hustle. That's what I'm doing, but it's not a hobby. Like, there is no way that you can pull off this sort of thing if you don't know what you're doing. If you can't actually if you don't know what's going to help that construction worker or that restaurant owner, you'll fall flat on your face. You're going to look like it's going to be obvious that you don't know what you're doing, because you won't even begin to write one email, much less 3. So you got to learn. The more we know. Like, I'm just sitting here thinking about like what could I say? Golly, like what expertise could I bring? And the longer I've done it, the more I realize that I do have something to bring to the table. The business owners do need us, but I've had to learn. Like, I've had to learn all these things that I could share. And now I'm going to lay in bed tonight thinking about like, okay, what interesting little tidbits could I break up? And give them one little piece at a time, one tiny ad at a time, instead of, I don't know, that's where I'm going.
It should, it goes without saying that, this whole setup, and again, like if you look at my chicken scratches on the screen, it's like, oh, there's a lot of stuff going on here. In my program, for example, and when you work with somebody who's done this, you get these templates, you just get all these email templates. Okay, you've got to customize them for yourself, but you get all these pages, and you get examples of everything, and you just but you do have to know your industry. You're totally right about that. You do want to know that. But if you don't, let's say, I don't have a niche and I don't know how to pick one. One of the best things you can do is, well, first, if I were you, I would, I've done it myself, is to decide what kind of clients I like to work with. Is there any industries that really appeal to me? Number one. And number two, are these somewhat profitable niches? Are these somewhat profitable? And then you can go join Facebook groups that are dedicated to those niches. Construction companies have Facebook groups, and so do restaurants. And you can go in there and start asking questions. Hey, what are your biggest questions when it comes to your bookkeeping? You'll get all the response and feedback you need that will help you then craft your, top 5 PDF or your video or these emails, all of those things. So it's, and again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but once you get this set up, you're not chasing after reviews on Google. You're not posting on Facebook. You're not networking. You're not asking for referrals.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So you get this done. And again, I've got new training that's being introduced into my course in 2 weeks that, like I said, gives you everything. Like if you have an active a Lead Pages account, you hit a button and you get all of these templates loaded in. Same thing with the emails. Okay. And then this is something you could get these campaigns up and running in less than a week. So
wow. Because you're giving the students the content that they need, and they just tweak it with their own picture.
Exactly. Okay. And then, of course, we work with people because people are like, I don't know what to say in this email, or I wrote this email. What is it? How does it sound to you? And then we help you with that. So because it's important, again, like we talked about with Google, there's lots of steps where this can go wrong. maybe nobody's clicking on your ad. Okay, we need to try some better ads. Okay, well, they're clicking on it, but people aren't even entering their email. Okay, well, now we need to work on our landing page. Maybe we need to work on our free resource. It's video, video or PDF. We can troubleshoot this each step along the way, because it will go wrong somewhere. Okay, we've taken out most of the guesswork, but it will go wrong somewhere. But I'm telling you, once you fix it, it works. This is not a question of if it works. It does. We just have to make sure every step is being done properly.
I was going to ask, if I wanted to have someone do this for me, how much does this cost? But you're saying you have it like baked into the price of your course, so I can get.
Oh yeah,
I can get 90% of it done. It's not, you're not going to do it for them, but you get 90% of it done.
Right.
And then, oh, by the way, I get to learn accounting and QuickBooks and marketing and business processes and stuff with your course. I would imagine that hiring someone to do this would be on the order of hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, right? And that's on top of the cost of running. That's running the ads. Like the ads is a charge that Google charges you, but if you want an expert to make all this happen, is it hundreds of dollars to hire someone?
It's typically more than that. I had somebody running my Google ads. The management fee was $750 a month with they want you in contracts. It was like a 4-month contract, and they were doing jack diddly squat for me. I was getting nothing. I was getting better results from my crappy looking landing page than theirs. So, we stopped working together. So that's $750 a month times 4. So that's what these marketing companies like to do. And not to say that there aren't some good ones out there, but nobody's going to care about your business like you do. So when you write an email, it's going to come from you, and it's going to be in your voice, and it's going to be, you care about it. You're going to spend the time on it. A lot of these marketing companies, I've been burned by them. But now that I know how to do this, it's easy. There's no reason why you can't, as long as you do have a little bit of, you need some help along the way. Because there's a lot that could go wrong.
Yeah. So, this to me, just mathematically, this is a huge plug for your course, which is not kind of where I was intending this conversation to go.
No.
But if this really is, a component, especially for those people who I like the networking. I get all my clients, the last 4 clients I've gotten have come from people I've shaken hands with, and I treat them virtually, but that's me. But there's a whole lot of people who would love to not have to do that, or they cannot do that.
Sure.
So this could be very appealing. And the fact that it's all there. But I also want to just affirm what you said about kind of having there's something about doing it yourself where you are in control. That's, on a very micro scale, that bookkeeping website course that I created, I love that I know just enough how to change my Pro Advisor badge from my regular Pro Advisor to my advanced Pro Advisor without having to pay someone $150 to go make that change, because I can't log into my website. And so, you get a crazy idea in the middle of the night and you want to change your funnel, you go do it instead of calling $750 ad man and getting on his list to do 2 weeks later, So,
I had this company do Google ads for me because, I was doing so well. It's again, that's a smart decision to invest in. It's I'll pay somebody $750 because this is a great investment. But the ads they came back with, the language they were using, it was clear, and they had worked with accountants and bookkeepers before. And it's this isn't stuff we say, and so that's, it would be challenging to find somebody. And again, if you've got a process that's kind of laid out, I do this is not rocket science. It's really not. It's really cool.
I have you said the word $20,000 earlier in this conversation, and this might be an okay time to talk about that since we're kind of throwing numbers around. So, people who would have your course, it would be a big deal for me to spend $200 a month on advertising. So, are you? Is there success in your course with more of that kind of a budget than?
Yes.
I just don't spend money. Okay, that's
No. That's
what,
the budget you should use. You should use this. You don't need a big budget here, and that's the takeaway. When I said 20,000, I'm trying to, that's part of mostly that's my course, and so I'm trying to reach a large group of people, and that's what you try to do. But it also goes to show that I'm doing this all day, every day. I know what works. I know what doesn't work, whether it's Facebook or Google, and so there's a benefit in learning from somebody who just does it, and not just does it for chiropractors and all these different types of companies. I do it for bookkeepers. I do it for almost exclusively bookkeepers, but accountants and CPAs and all kinds of people. So no, a starting budget for something like this. I mean, you can do a starting budget for like $5 a day.
Okay.
$5 a day, $10 a day. $10 a day, that's $300. And again, it's only gonna spend that much. And there's lots of metrics. We can see if things are working or not within just a few days. So if things aren't working, we start adjusting things. But again, typically what we see happen is you spend about $300 to $500 to get a client that ends up paying you, typically, 10 times that over the course of 1 year. So again, you spend $500, you make $5,000 over the course of the year, and that's just 1 year. Most clients stay with us for on average 5 to 7 years. So the return on your investment here is pretty good. But again, you got to put in the work at the beginning, and then you've got to just kind of troubleshoot the steps.
Okay.
Because it works. I mean, you posted that poll and people say, yeah, it does work. There's no reason why it would work for one person and wouldn't work for another person.
Well, I assume you would. I mean, you seem like a smart guy, so you wouldn't continue to spend what you spend if it wasn't working for you. So
yeah.
This is all exciting.
When I started, I put up an ad that said, hey, I'm a bookkeeper. I made this really cool little video. I paid somebody on Fiverr to make this really cool little video. And it's like, hey, it was just with music and the whole thing, and nothing, crickets. And then guess what? I tried. I put up because you talked about ads, and boy, you got to be, really creative. I put up a picture of me holding my, let's see, she was at this point, she was only about a month old, daughter at the park here. She was it was February, so she was wearing this bright red, Valentine's Day thing. It was just me holding my daughter. What does that have to do with bookkeeping?
Okay.
Nothing, but it stopped somebody from scrolling. It's kind of in the vein that spend more time with your family. So you don't have to be creative. You've got pictures on your phone, or you can use, there's a new ad I'm seeing around. It's about e-commerce bookkeeping. And there's a picture of a guy with his, fist punched through, the screen of a laptop. That's going to stop somebody from scrolling. And if we have something of value to offer them, then they're going to go ahead and move forward. But,
I've been thinking of a rooster, because I want to be the early morning bookkeeper. So I don't know. I've been thinking of some like strutting rooster, maybe with red hair too. I don't know.
I like that, but I also saw you post something about working with Christian-based companies.
Oh yeah. So
you would blow it out of the water. That would really speak to somebody when somebody somebody is scrolling on Facebook. I mean, you would. I might do your Facebook ads for I better not say that because I'm too busy as it is, but I would love to help you with that.
Did you say which of these we should start with, Facebook or Google? Facebook is easier.
I typically recommend Facebook.
Okay,
Facebook.
But this picture is so much scarier.
Yeah, it takes a little bit more to set up, but again, you can get this set up in a week. You could get it set up in less than a week, but especially if you have access to all these templates.
Yeah.
You don't have to have my templates. You don't have to join my course, but some of the softwares out there, you can see a landing page and they'll let you use templates and things like that. So, but it is, like these emails, for example, these emails, you could do them, you could do 10 to 20 emails. Some people just do unlimited number of emails and they just keep sending, kind of like a newsletter type thing, but more focused on providing value or telling a story and getting people to book a call. So again, you just want to keep making contact with people.
Let me get a few questions here, Bill. So Jennifer Atkins is asking, if we have a goal target of growth, how do we set our ad spend to match it? Does that question make sense to you?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit difficult because, we might get, the types of clients that we work with clients anywhere from like bookkeeping clients, $300 a month to $3,000 a month is typically where we work. At above 3,000, it starts to make more sense for them to hire like an in-house full-time staff.
Okay.
And then less than 300, it's just not, there's just too much. It's not worth it for us. And there's a lot of business owners. I don't mean that to make it sound like I'm, all that.
No, you're fine.
But,
this is you. That's fine.
Yeah. But 300 is typically, if we're working with a smaller client, that's kind of worth it for them to get this off their plate and to have somebody do it right. So they are, like able to focus on their business and maximize their tax deductions. So because that range is so wide, it's challenging to know what the budget should be because we don't know what kinds of people are going to be calling us. So it's a bit of a difficult question to ask, but generally what I see is like you get like an average client. So if your average is like $500 a month, you typically get one average client a month on that kind of an ad spend. You could look at getting a $500 a month client on a $500 ad spend for that month.
Okay.
So you're making your money, but you're already break even after month one.
Yeah.
There might be a month of, optimizing some things, but yeah.
How many calls is that person who's nailing that one $500 client? Is that like $500 leads to 10 calls leads to one client, or 20 calls to one client, or 3 calls to one client?
It's typical. Again, it's different for everybody because, but we like to see calls being booked for about $100. So $100 an ad spend gets a call.
Call. Okay.
And again, that can vary widely for everybody. Like, yeah, it can just vary, but like that's generally a good spot for you.
Cool. Another question is, how do you know what to adjust? I don't have more information than that. It's Trinity. I'm guessing in each piece of these steps. Any tips for like how do you start the troubleshooting process? Someone comes crying and say, I spent $300 and I got nothing.
That's what we do.
Where's broken? How do you find out what's broken?
Perfect. That's what we do on like the coaching call. So you come and like, I just take a look at your ads dashboard. And so for example, if this ad isn't getting, maybe the cost per click, okay, every time somebody clicks on it is higher than what we'd expect. If nobody's clicking, it's just not getting a lot of clicks, then the ad creative is just not great. Okay, so we update the ad. So there's data at every step. Here again, maybe it's the landing page isn't designed like we want it to. Maybe the free resource we're giving away doesn't really make that big of an impact on our target market. If people aren't booking phone calls, again, some of those same things could be the issue, but especially when it comes to Facebook, if they're going to go down here into your email sequence, we can in our software determine who's opening emails and who isn't. Okay, so let's say we send this email out, and an average open rate on it, again, it varies, but like if you get like a 25% open rate, you're kind of in the vicinity. 25% of people who get your email open it. If you're getting 10%, for example, well, guess what's wrong? Well, I don't know what's going on with this thing, but what's wrong is your subject line. So when somebody doesn't open an email, it's because the subject line, they looked at the subject line and it wasn't captivating. I mean, you don't have to be like the best copywriter in the world, but we can't just be saying, how's your Friday going? Or again, we want to craft our subject lines properly. So that's how we would troubleshoot this at most of the steps.
Same gal asked the question, do you have to do the drip emails? Because she says she personally hates getting them.
No, you don't have to. No, you don't. This process can be still have a very high ROI without the emails. The emails just help. The emails kind of supercharge things.
Lisa Swasso asks if your program is your program self-implemented? Do you have a program where you do it all? This seems very time-consuming.
This step of it isn't really, and it's just it's not. I know it seems like a lot, but it seems like a lot because it might be your first time being exposed to all these steps. But it really just is stuff you don't know yet. Once like you see this stuff in the software, it's like, wow, this is easy. I can do this. And so the videos walk you through kind of setting everything up and importing templates and all of those types of things. And the other thing I say to people who look at this process or any process when it comes to getting clients is, you know, when you decided to open your bookkeeping business, you made the implicit decision to become a bookkeeper second and a salesperson first. You made the choice to say, it is my responsibility to get clients. And so, no, you don't have to do ads. You can do a lot of different things, but you have to do something, because if you don't have clients coming through the door, you don't have a business, you know? So the time invested here, specifically on kind of like the fast forward button with ads and things, this is a great return on your time investment as well as your money investment.
Yeah, this is the E-Myth concept of working in your business working on your business instead of in your business. And I think a lot of that's just a good warning. You know, I'm on a hunt right now for statistics about how many people are entrepreneurs versus how many people are employees, like in America. It's a harder number to find than you would think.
Sure.
But there's nothing wrong with being an employee. And some days I think that that's probably maybe more what I am. I just don't have that luxury right now. I'd be a great employee for someone. But this is like the territory. This comes with, like, you have to be thinking about all this stuff. If you just want to be a rock star bookkeeper, way better than Bill, way better than me, you can get a job, and you know, if you become invaluable to a firm like Bill's, he'll say, like, okay, good bookkeeping help is hard to come by. I will pay a fair wage for this, and you don't have to deal with any of these whiteboard charts. There's no emails to send. You know, you get hired by someone and you do your accounting because you love it.
Sure.
So this does seem complicated. It is hard. You are right about if you're going to do this, the entrepreneurial, there's a lot of ways to do to work virtually as a bookkeeper. Being an entrepreneur is one version of that. And the vast majority of Americans, and probably internationally too, are not business owners. Most people have a job.
Sure.
And that's fine and okay and happy. And guess what you get to miss? You get to miss all of this.
Yeah.
And,
oh, yeah.
So I'm going to look over for a few more questions. Bill, this is awesome. It's mind-blowing. It's awesome. People are going to have to watch this 2 times. And I'm going to have to watch it 5 times because it takes longer for stuff to soak in for me. Let me see if there are any more questions. I think we got them all. I'm looking at my sheet for questions. So do you have a favorite, like a guru for this stuff, that if people wanted to, like, you know, binge some YouTube videos, like, is there like a Facebook ads guru that, you know, years ago when you were starting this, you kind of followed? Obviously you're teaching people, but, you know, is there someone who's like an expert that would have a lot of like free YouTube videos or something?
There's a Facebook group called Facebook. You know what? Let me just look it up here. I can find it real quick. But it's a really cool Facebook group, Facebook Ad Hacks. Be forewarned. When you go in here, there's going to be a lot. Don't post, hey, I need some help with Facebook ads. You're going to get 2 billion. Your inbox is going to blow up, and there are going to be all kinds of, you know, goofballs trying to hit you up. So, but it's a good place to kind of get your feet wet a little bit. You know, as far as something on YouTube, I don't. You know, this is just something I learned from a lot of research, and I did watch YouTube videos, but it was so long ago that I'm really not kind of up to date on kind of who's
but the Facebook group you'd recommend. Okay.
The Facebook group, yeah, because it's a lot of talk about this type of stuff. The other thing I should tell you about that, what's really cool is with Facebook, because they know everything about you, you're showing this ad to, like, for example, this ad is going to maybe construction company owners or whatever it's going to be. You can then, once you have enough people that have clicked on this ad, you can then tell Facebook, hey, let's say you have 100 people click this ad. You can tell Facebook, hey, take these 100 people and find me 2 million people. That's just the default number that Facebook comes up with. 2 million more people that have the same qualities as these people. So now you're not shooting in the dark. Now you're showing your ad to a group of people that are even more likely to click on your ad and download your stuff. So that's called a lookalike audience. So now you can start showing your ads as you go. You can start showing your ads to people that are more and more likely to download your stuff become clients, all of that stuff. So Facebook's really powerful, and yeah, that Facebook ad hacks is the group, but maybe just go in and
Facebook ad hacks. Okay.
Yeah, Facebook ad hacks, and it's run by a person who I think she's in Australia. She, she's like a Facebook ad. She runs a Facebook ads agency, a really big one. Her name is Kat Howell, and I know she's really good.
Okay. One other question. So, what software package in your course? What do you walk people through for handling all of this? They have to have a website, or do they not have to have a website? Do you tell people to use ActiveCampaign? Give us the software package that you would recommend.
No, you don't have to have a website to do this. You don't, because you can get a domain name and you can have all your funnel pages sitting on a domain. So you don't have to have a web page, but I do like Lead Pages for a landing page software. And then for email, MailChimp is a good one to start with. I like ActiveCampaign. But you've turned me on a little bit to MailerLite, and I kind of like that. I like the paid option with MailerLite. It's pretty inexpensive. It has automations, which is what we need to be doing this. And the paid version will remove like the branding. Like, you don't want the branding on there if at all possible. I think it's like $10 a month to do this. And again, if we're spending $300 or $500 a month on ads to get a client that's going to pay us $5,000 over the course of the year, $10 a month is a really great investment. Also, as you pointed out, MailerLite, you can create your own landing pages. You can create landing pages in MailerLite. Yeah. Yeah. But in my course, it's Lead Pages and ActiveCampaign. But you can ActiveCampaign has a cost, though, right? It does. Yeah. So MailerLite does have a free version. If you already have, so like my thought was building my lead pages on my website, because I figured out how to remove the header and the footer so they can't leave the page, and then having MailerLite be my the email, the contact capture, and I think that would probably be sufficient. I don't know that I'm that concerned about the branding. So we'll see. We'll see. Especially if the first page I think looks good, then to me the second page, like when they're booking the call, is probably just like I like people like me. I think most people do, and so like that doesn't bother me personally. So if someone was really like uptight about and judgy about that, I don't know. Ultimately, they might not be a good fit for me anyway. So there are. So if I do this, I think the way I will tackle it is to try to do it the free way, build that ugly landing page instead of the pretty one, but we'll see if it works. If I can find a rooster picture. Anyway. But it should also go, I mean, the steps of building the landing pages and the emails, they're generally the same across platforms. So even when it comes to the emails, you could just import our automation if you're using the software we use. Otherwise, it's just so easy to create them in yours. So we help people kind of do that. But that's what my course aside. Just know that you can use any appropriate tool to do these functions. Awesome, yeah. Bill. Mind blowing. It's a lot. I think it's good. I think there are some people who are, a year ago for me, I would have been like, not even ready to consider this stuff, but I think I'm close to where this would be something that I could do. I could also see in a Corona environment where you can't maybe do some of that in-person networking, like that. Sure. That was how I did it all. I was at weekly things. Can't do that anymore. So this could be great. And guys, if you tag Bill for questions, tag me for questions. If you would like to fast forward even faster, and you can buy his whole course and learn soup to nuts all about becoming a bookkeeping entrepreneur. And then this would be just a tiny part of what is included in a very robust entrepreneurial bookkeeper course, Booming Bookkeeping Business. And reach out to me. I have a discount code for that, and I have an affiliate link if y'all want to. And this is his style. We got giraffes in the background. We got whiteboard teaching. Like you gotta make sure you like your guy. And if giraffes and whiteboard is your guy, then because it's not rocket science. Accounting's accounting. There's something to be said about just like who are you gonna
go to war with, and Bill might be your guy for some of you.
Sure.
So reach out to him, tag me. Thank you so much. So much to think about. We all have to use our creative juices along with our analytical minds. So
Sure.
this is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna shut this down. Bill, we will be in touch again. I will let you know if I end up taking the pledge. It probably won't be till August if I do.
Okay.
Anything with this, where kids aren't in camp anymore, and then we're taking a little vacation, but we'll see.
Okay.
I'll have a lot to think. There's prep work to do, right? So even before I launch, I would have to like the writing and the all that. So I appreciate it. See you, man.
All right. You're welcome.
Bye,
See
everyone.
you soon. Bye-bye.